Reality is often perceived as fixed and certain, but science, philosophy, and even everyday experiences have demonstrated that what we perceive may not be the full picture. Our understanding of the world is shaped by our senses, but these senses can be deceived, and reality is far more complex than it appears. Here are 10 facts that challenge our perception of reality and highlight the mysterious nature of the world around us. 1. The brain can be easily deceived. Our brain processes information from our senses to create an internal model of the world, but this model is not always accurate. Optical illusions, for example, can trick the brain into seeing something that isn't there or misinterpreting what we see. The famous Muller-Lyer illusion, where two lines of the same length appear different due to the direction of the arrows at their ends, is just one example of how our brain distorts reality. 2. Time is not constant. Time, as we experience it, seems to flow at a steady pace, but in reality, time is relative. According to Einstein's theory of relativity, time can move at different speeds depending on factors like velocity and gravity. For example, time moves slightly faster for astronauts in space than for people on Earth. This phenomenon is known as time dilation, and it challenges our fundamental understanding of how time works. 3. We only see a small fraction of the electromagnetic spectrum. The human eye can only detect a tiny portion of the electromagnetic spectrum, which consists of radio waves, microwaves, infrared radiation, visible light, ultraviolet light, X-rays, and gamma rays. The visible light we perceive is only a small slice of the whole spectrum, and the world is filled with invisible waves that we cannot detect without the aid of technology. This means that reality is far richer and more complex than what we can see. 4. Our memories are not reliable. Memory is not a perfect recording of events. Rather, it is a reconstructive process. Our memories can be influenced by suggestion, emotions, and biases, leading us to recall events inaccurately. The Mandela effect, where large groups of people remember an event differently than it actually occurred, demonstrates how collective memories can be altered over time. Our perception of past events may not reflect the reality of what actually happened. 5. The universe is mostly empty space. At a macroscopic level, we perceive matter as solid and tangible, but on the atomic scale, most of what we consider to be matter is empty space. Atoms, the building blocks of matter, are made up of a nucleus surrounded by electrons in vast regions of space. This emptiness challenges our perception of the solidity of objects and suggests that, on a fundamental level, the physical world is far emptier than it seems. 6. The Earth is not perfectly round. We tend to think of Earth as a round ball, but in reality, it is an oblate spheroid. Due to the Earth's rotation, it is slightly flattened at the poles and bulging at the equator. This shape distorts our perception of the Earth's geometry, as we are more familiar with spherical objects and assume they are perfect spheres. 7. Quantum mechanics defies logic. In the realm of quantum mechanics, particles can exist in multiple states at once, superposition, and their behavior can be influenced by observation, the observer effect. The famous Schrödinger's cat thought experiment illustrates this paradox, where a cat in a box can be both alive and dead until the box is opened and observed. Quantum mechanics fundamentally challenges our intuitive understanding of reality, where objects are expected to behave in predictable ways. 8. The human perception of color is subjective. Color is not a property of objects themselves but a result of how our eyes and brain interpret different wavelengths of light. Two people can see the same object and perceive its color differently due to variations in their vision or even cultural differences in how colors are categorized. The dress debate on the internet, where people saw a dress as either white and gold or blue and black, is a prime example of how our perception of color can vary significantly. 9. The real world may be a simulation. One philosophical theory, known as the simulation hypothesis, suggests that our entire reality might be a computer simulation created by a more advanced civilization. Some scientists argue that as technology advances, it could become possible to simulate consciousness, and we may be living in such a simulation without realizing it. This idea challenges everything we understand about existence and the nature of reality itself. 10. You are never fully aware of your own body. Our perception of our body is often flawed or incomplete. We rely on our senses to inform us of our physical state, but our brains can be tricked into feeling sensations that aren't there. The rubber hand illusion, where people feel sensations in a rubber hand that they see being touched while their own hand is hidden, demonstrates how our perception of body ownership can be altered. This illusion challenges our understanding of the mind-body connection. The world we experience is shaped by our senses and perceptions, yet science has shown that our understanding of reality is limited, often distorted, and continually evolving. These facts remind us that reality is far more mysterious than we may realize, and what we experience is only a small fraction of the complex, multifaceted universe in which we live.